Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, your reliable source for updates on Iraq's evolving currency revaluation and financial landscape. Today, we're bringing you a powerful shift that may redefine the conversation around the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong. For years, talk of a revaluation floated between speculation and cautious optimism. But now, we are entering a new phase, one backed by data, official disclosures, and institutional signals too strong to dismiss. What once seemed like distant chatter is now echoing through global financial corridors. After years of rumors, the Iraqi dinar revaluation is no longer confined to online forums and speculative circles. Verified insights from well-placed insiders, institutional disclosures, and strategic financial movements are all aligning. The revaluation process is no longer about asking if, it's about understanding how soon. Over the last 6 months, a quiet but significant transformation has been taking place. Official memos, Treasury disclosures, and Iraq's own financial reforms are converging with real momentum. What's emerging is a pattern of deliberate, calculated steps toward full monetary recalibration. This change isn't random, it's targeted. Every move made by Iraq's central bank, every adjustment in sovereign debt, and every reallocation of foreign currency reserves fits into a larger structure. Iraq's financial institutions are working with global standards, and the evidence is becoming harder to ignore. For long-time holders of Iraqi dinar, those who face skepticism, doubt, and dismissal, the shift has finally arrived in their favor. Even analysts who once hesitated to entertain the possibility of a revaluation are now taking quiet notice. When global financial powers begin to align in such a unified and structured way, history tells us something significant is brewing, and right now they're speaking in the same language. Take the U.S. Treasury Bulletin from May 2025. A dense but revealing document that mentions foreign currency liquidity events. That phrase has only appeared in key moments of currency recalibration, before China's yuan shift in 2015 and during the Eurozone's strategic interventions in the early 2000s. At the same time this bulletin surfaced, Iraq released a blueprint for restructuring its monetary system, outlining methods to boost liquidity and integrate further into global finance. That alignment of timing is not a coincidence. Further weight was added when a Freedom of Information Act request uncovered heavily redacted Treasury memos referencing foreign reserve realignments involving Iraq. These aren't scattered clues, they are coordinated steps in a process that's been quietly advancing. When examined objectively, without emotion or bias, the case for the dinar's revaluation becomes far more convincing. Let's talk numbers. Suppose you currently hold 1 million Iraqi dinar. Right now, that might convert to roughly $800.00 USD, depending on acquisition source. But imagine even modest revaluation scenarios. If the dinar were to revalue to 10 cents, that holding becomes $100,000.00. And at $1.00, you're looking at a full $1 million.00 valuation. These figures may sound ambitious, but they're not baseless. Iraq holds over 145 billion barrels of proven oil. Its debt-to-GDP ratio is improving, and its foreign reserves are growing. Trade agreements are being signed in dinar, confirming the country's intent to reintroduce its currency into international markets. Iraq's geographic position as a crossroads between East and West gives it further economic weight. This isn't only about oil or foreign exchange, it's about strategic influence in a shifting global economy. If Iraq's currency were to recover even half of its pre-2003 value, the gains for those who've held IQD could be monumental. Current global indicators are making that prospect increasingly feasible. Why does the U.S. Treasury care? Because this shift isn't only about Iraq. It's about broader economic leverage. The United States holds significant positions in dinar, especially those tied to oil credits and post-war financial arrangements. A rising dinar would enhance the U.S. balance sheet substantially. Imagine an underutilized asset suddenly appreciating 50 times. That's what this could look like. But there's more. Iraq's stability directly supports U.S. regional influence. With neighboring states embroiled in volatility, a stable Iraq acts as an economic anchor for American policy in the Middle East and North Africa. Then, there's the global financial arena. As blocs like BRICS push away from dollar dependency, the U.S. needs asset-backed allies to retain global currency leadership. Supporting Iraq's dinar, therefore, isn't just a smart move, it's a strategic imperative. Treasury officials and international economists understand this reality, and it's informing policy right now. And yet, with opportunity always comes risk. The dinar space has historically attracted scammers, people preying on dreams and offering access to exclusive rates for a price. As real movement begins, the scams will multiply. Stay cautious. Verified currency exchanges never require upfront payments or secretive access fees. If major financial players don't get backdoor deals, neither will retail holders. Always use licensed currency dealers. Demand receipts and verify claims against trustworthy sources like the CBI or U.S. Treasury. Your financial security depends on it. As we continue, it's vital to remain vigilant. Scammers thrive during transitions like these. They prey on uncertainty and promise access to insider rates, guaranteed profits, or early exchange opportunities. For a fee, don't fall for it. Legitimate foreign currency exchanges never require advance payments or obscure membership access. If global hedge funds don't receive special treatment, neither will individual investors. Stick to regulated dealers, confirm everything with proper documentation, and verify every detail through official channels like the Central Bank of Iraq or the U.S. Treasury. With the real revaluation window drawing closer, the noise will only grow louder. Screenshots, charts, and so-called leaks will flood social media, most of it unverifiable and some of it intentionally misleading. Be cautious about where you get your information. If it can't be directly sourced from credible public institutions, it's not worth risking your finances on. Always keep your proof of purchase, transaction receipts, and certified holdings ready. These will be essential when the actual exchange begins. Now is the time to plan. If you haven't already, speak with a certified financial planner. Understand how capital gains might affect your tax situation, especially if your profits from the IQD are substantial. In the United States, gains from currency exchanges are considered taxable income or capital gains, depending on your holding period and how the asset is classified. Proper planning today could save you thousands or more when the time comes to file. Prepare now while you still have time to act strategically. What's happening now isn't the result of a single leak or government memo. It's part of a coordinated global financial reset. The May 2025 Treasury Bulletin wasn't an isolated fleek. It was a visible piece of a much larger framework. Confirmed reports from internal meetings within Iraq's central bank, leaked through diplomatic back channels, indicate that the country is in the final stage of its long-term monetary restructuring. When a central bank says final stage, that's not speculation. It's a policy signal. Real action is imminent. At the same time, banks across the Middle East, particularly in Jordan, Kuwait, and the UAE, have started testing their systems for dinar liquidity. These aren't test runs for show. They represent back-end readiness for real large-volume movement. Trade officials in energy-rich countries are quietly preparing to use IQD in regional transactions. This is how de-dollarization begins, not through headlines but through confirmed trade flows. These are intentional, government-backed transitions, not coincidences. The silence that once surrounded the Iraqi dinar has been shattered. And what broke it wasn't online rumors. It was direct language from global institutions, leaked financial schedules, and trade alignments confirmed through banking systems. When was the last time so many different power centers, from the U.S. Treasury to regional oil banks, acted in near synchrony around a single emerging currency? Not in decades. This kind of global alignment doesn't happen often, and when it does, it's a signal for those paying attention. Meanwhile, as BRICS and other coalitions accelerate moves away from dollar dependence, the United States is repositioning itself through relationships with resource-rich partners like Iraq. The dinar, backed by enormous oil reserves and strengthened by economic reforms, fits perfectly into this evolving strategy. It's about monetary policy, regional security, and global leverage. If you've made it this far, you're ahead of the curve. Most people still aren't watching what's unfolding, but you are. And that puts you in a powerful position to prepare wisely. Insight is what separates opportunity from regret. This isn't just about making a fast profit. It's about preparing for a lasting shift in how currency, oil, and influence are exchanged around the world. Money can come and go, but preparation, patience, and the right information build lasting wealth. At Iraqi Dinar News, our goal is to cut through the noise and bring you verified, strategic insights. We're not here to sell you dreams. We're here to keep you ahead of reality. Drop your thoughts in the comments, let us know what rates or confirmations you've seen, and help us document this historic shift together. Like the video if you value the truth, and subscribe so you never miss a crucial update. The next CBI release or Treasury confirmation could drop any moment, and when it does, you'll want to be ready to act. The revaluation of the Iraqi dinar isn't 5 years away, it's in motion now. Stay alert, stay informed, and above all, stay ready. This is your moment. Don't miss it.